Hi there, everybody. Welcome to your 4 to 5.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. It's a huge news day around here.
Big news day. We're going to jump right into it. First, a historic building in Eden scorched by a massive fire. We take you to Spray Cotton Mills to assess the damage. And Boom Supersonic made a huge announcement today. The company is building the world's fastest airliner, and construction kicked off today in Greensboro. But first, we have breaking news out of Charlotte, where the Carolina Panthers hired a new head coach. The team announced today they agreed to terms with Frank Reich to become the new head coach.
Amanda Ferguson is here to give us the details on the team's big announcements.
The Carolina Panthers hire Frank Reich as its next head coach, the team's first offensive-minded head coach. That was something this team was looking for. 7 of their 9 candidates had offensive backgrounds. The Panthers have struggled with the offense for the past 4 seasons, specifically when it comes to the quarterback position, which is probably why interim head coach Steve Wilks did not get this job, even though he turned around the team after Matt Rule was fired. Wilks' background comes from the other side of the ball, the defense. As for Reich, he spent the past 5 seasons as the Colts head coach before he was fired in the middle of the season after a 3-5-1 start. He won a Super Bowl with the Eagles as offensive coordinator. He was also the starting quarterback for the Panthers in their first game back in 1995. He went 0-3 as their starter.
A big welcome home to him. The Panthers hiring Reich also drew tons of reaction online. Here's some of what you guys had to say. Tom says Reich is a good coach, but Steve Wilks really deserved a shot. Tina agreed. She says Wilks was doing a good job. And Paula says, he's not a bad choice. You know, pretty tame.
Former Panthers coach Matt Rule has settled into his new job as Nebraska's head coach. He has signed an 8-year deal with the team. Rule was fired by the Panthers owner David Tepper after an 11-27 record during his time in Charlotte.
Now to our other top story today. Boom Supersonic began construction on their Overture Super Factory right here in Greensboro. Now they aim to make the world's fastest plane, optimized for speed, safety, and sustainability. Today at the event, Governor Roy Cooper said he's excited to see the positive impact this is going to have on our state.
Guys, the triad is going to take off. Listen to me, it's going to take off. Sure enough, you've done it. All of us together have done it. And it is amazing to see what is happening right now with economic development here in the triad. And I think a key to that success has been clean energy and aeronautics.
Boom Supersonic's expected to bring at least an estimated $32 billion to our state economy. That's just over the next 20 years, not even past that.
So exciting for Greensboro. I mean, this project, along with many others, is putting Greensboro on the map just within the short time I've been here, the last 2 years or so. You've just seen so many big companies coming here. It's almost making us feel like a Charlotte or like a Raleigh. We're really making a name for ourselves.
And I think it will happen that the growth here is going to be really big over the next 10, 15 years. I know they won't have those planes out till like 2029, I think. That's right? And but to see the image, I mean, look at that thing.
It's very cool. It's so high tech. It's gonna cut times in half on the plane. It's gonna be exciting.
What I think is also cool is the fact that Greensboro's leaders had the forethought years ago to think, you know, the textile industry is dying off. We got to change course here. And they went after this aeronautics so strongly that now we made such a name. We landed a plane manufacturer, y'all. That's huge.
And the fastest plane in the world.
Yeah.
Made right here in a matter of years.
That's some big stuff. We really are taking off, like the governor said.
And
nice pun.
And not only that, there's been studies showing that for every one of the manufacturing jobs created there, it's 7 indirect jobs in the triad.
Oh, okay.
So each worker there, they got to have a real estate agent. They need a restaurant worker. They need someone taking care of the kids.
All the essentials.
Yeah.
Yes. It's going to be
Big
interesting.
stuff.
Yep.
So another big economic project is well underway. Toyota will open a battery plant at the Greensboro-Randolph megasite. The company will bring thousands of jobs to our area. That plant expects to open in 2025.
Our other top story this afternoon, the former Spray Cotton Mills in Eden is still smoking this afternoon after it went up in flames. The massive fire started late last night and has burned for hours. We take you to the scene now with WFMY News 2's Daniel Cruz. Daniel, what new information have you learned?
Yeah, smoke has been billowing from what is left of the spray cotton mill throughout the day. Darkness last night painting a much different picture. Take a look at some of this incredible video overnight when the mill was nearly engulfed in flames. Firefighters from across the county and even Southern Virginia showed up to help the Eden Fire Department battle the flames. Daylight showing the charred remains of the old mill. Firefighters, they remain on the scene this evening working to control hotspots. We spoke to the mayor this afternoon who called this fire a once-in-a-lifetime incident. He says crews were just working on the roof of the building this week as a developer was working to transform the mill into new housing.
They had the framing up for the rooms inside. So, I mean, had really moved along, and the thing is, he's worked with the state and the county and the city for years to get this far, and then this happened. So, yeah, it's devastating for us and the people who've partnered to try to make it happen.
Throughout the day, we have seen people stopping to take in the sights and even take pictures of what is left of that old mill. Many either worked at the mill or knew others who did. No word tonight on exactly what led to the fire. Live in Eden, Daniel Cruz, WFMY News 2.
Thanks for the update, Daniel. We have been following Randolph County Sheriff Greg Siebold's progress as he continues to recover in the hospital. We were recently told he is doing well, but the healing will take some time. His family doesn't want to share the illness, but they say it's not cancer or another potentially terminal disease. His wife said in a Facebook post that he has had a challenging 17 days, but that they are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. She says he hopes to return home in a week.
Health officials are saying maybe it's time for COVID booster shots to go to the yearly flu shots. The point? To make getting vaccinated simple and easy to track.
FDA envisions an evidence-driven approach, similar in many ways to the process used for influenza vaccines, to monitor and update as needed the composition used in all COVID-19 vaccines.
FDA scientists say many Americans now have sufficient pre-existing immunity because of either vaccines or from a previous infection. They believe yearly shots would help combat the latest strains.
Adrian Health Wake Forest Baptist Dr. Christopher Uhl gave his weekly COVID-19 update and urged everyone to get the latest booster.
We just got information that was released yesterday from the CDC, actually, that the fall COVID booster shot, that bivalent shot that came about on the 1st of September and was directed at the BA.5 variant, that variant is still pretty protective for XBB 1.5, or not, that shot is still pretty protective for XBB 1.5. It seems like it might be more protective than the original COVID vaccine what we were using.
Dr. Uhl goes on to say that the new vaccine will give at least 50% protection against any symptomatic disease.
Well, the sun returned today after kind of a rainy, nasty Wednesday. Today, not all that bad, and some of our temperatures in the upper 40s and lower 50s. We go down toward Montgomery County, Troy, and if you see down there toward Pinehurst, that's nice, 54 degrees. Comfortable there. We're at 48 at Greensboro and Winston-Salem, same reading. Bump that up a little bit, 49 for High Point. We've got an even 50 for Lexington and for Asheboro. Heading up to the north, Mount Airy 44, and we get into the 30s around the freezing mark, a little warmer than that for Boone and for Galax at 32 and 34 respectively. Tonight's going to be a cold one, so tomorrow morning, get ready for this. 27 degrees, clear skies, cold conditions tomorrow, still chilly. A little bit cooler than today, even mostly sunshine and that high of 46. So clouds, we see a little bit back toward the mountain communities, but a lot of that is just dissipating. And over the southeast, I mean, we're in pretty good shape. You can see the high pressure in control for a while, so that'll keep us nice and clear, at least for a few days. We have a really good outlook. It's once we get into the second half of the weekend that things may change a little bit for us. I want to show you the 7-day. So here's the entire forecast for you. 46. Sunny on Friday. By Saturday, we're at 54. That's a really nice day. Mostly sunny and 54. Sunday, a 50-50 shot of rain, mostly late day, and 51 for the high. And look at that Monday, 57, clearing out a little bit. We'll keep a slight rain chance in, mainly dry on Tuesday. Wednesday at 40%. We hold that into Thursday, but we cool down by Thursday into the mid-40s.
And before we go to break, a programming note for you tomorrow. You will join us for the 4 to 5, but only us. We will air the Farmers Insurance Open Tournament from 5 to 8 p.m. There will be no WFMY 5, 5:30 or 6 p.m. news. Both Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy will air overnight. Wheel of Fortune will be at 1:37 a.m. and Jeopardy at 2:07 a.m. We'll be right back. Reports show the need for mental health services have increased throughout the pandemic. Cone Health's new behavioral health center is setting the bar for care around our state. It's the first urgent care in the state to offer both long-term behavioral and mental health services. This in-house option offers holistic treatment for physical and mental needs. Since opening in the summer of 2021, the facility says it's seen a great need for its services.
So we have been able to keep up with demand, and we are hiring more psychiatrists. We've seen 8,000 visits in our urgent care. Those volumes we did not expect. Same with outpatient services. Our volumes are high.
In addition to mental health, substance abuse cases are also handled at the facility. Medical Director Dr. Archana Kumar says a lack of housing is one of the biggest issues she's seen among several patients.
If I have a mental health crisis, whether it's addiction, and I don't have a place to live, I don't have the social supports, prescribing a medication is not going to solve it. You're going to need all those social aspects to make that person successful. And that can only happen when a community comes together.
As the facility continues to grow, clinical nurse Sean Taylor says the center will continue to work with community partners to better address mental health in Guilford County.
For the long term, how do they continue to get those medications? How do they continue to get housing? How do they continue to get the benefits that they need? And I think a lot of times that's a matter of having that old case manager who used to hand off and kind of go with them.
Guilford County's Behavioral Health Center is open 24/7 and serves both adults and children. I think that this is such a great resource and that there's something unique like this addressing the mental needs of others in our community. You know, specifically if somebody's having a mental health crisis and they go to an emergency department, they're going to be waiting for hours because somebody with a physical need is going to be seen first.
Yep.
So the fact that they can get somewhere, get the help that they need, get on a plan, I think it's a great thing.
I mean, how many times do we have to say it that mental health is so important? And, I mean, arguably as important as your physical health, if not more. Mental health can lead to bad physical health if you don't get that taken care of first.
And what a big shift in perspective to start thinking this as a community-wide issue, right? The fact that you got to have housing. If you don't have housing, you might have some mental issues. You can't get your prescriptions. It really is a way of thinking that's brand new.
It puts it in a perspective as to why everyone should care about it. And I really liked how she broke that down because I think that's an angle a lot of people don't necessarily think about. So as they continue to grow and move forward, they really want to work with community partners to address, you know, food insecurity, housing, getting people insurance, because if you're trying to sign somebody up for some type of health insurance and they have a chronic mental illness or something that's severe, they're not going to understand how to fill out that paperwork. So having case managers in place, that's going to really help with that.
And by the way, city leaders say those are some of the same things we need to do to tackle crime and other big issues in our community too.
Yeah.
This is the start of a lot of things.
Yeah, be exciting to see what they do next. All right, we'll be right back after this break.
Tom Hanks is back, baby. The Oscar-winning actor has a film currently in theaters that might just make your heart melt this winter season. But was it enough to make our film critic Manning Franks give it a warm reception? Let's find out.
Tom Hanks has been known to play, at the very least, amiable guys from a variety of backgrounds. So to spice it up, who isn't excited to see Tom Hanks play a grumpy old man? Coming out at the last breath of 2022, A Man Called Otto has been a sleeper hit with audiences since it arrived in theaters. So why has this film been so warmly embraced by audiences from all walks of life? Of course, I had to check it out myself to see what all the fuss was about.
Oh my God. Give me the keys.
Hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
Otto.
Otto?
O-T-T-O.
I'm Abby. O-T-T-O.
Based upon the Swedish novel A Man Called Ove, this American adaptation of the book stars Tom Hanks as Otto Anderson, a 63-year-old widower living in a small neighborhood in Pittsburgh. After the recent passing of his wife, Otto has been secluded from his neighbors. However, when a new young family moves across the street, the grumpy man meets his match as unlikely friendships begin to form.
Are you always this unfriendly?
I am not unfriendly.
Okay, you're not.
There's an undeniable delight watching Tom Hanks play the layered role of Otto in what could be considered his best leading role since Captain Phillips. Few actors can juggle the inner anger and partner that rough exterior with a genuine kindness. He, along with Mariana Trevino as Marisol, steal every scene they are in with their natural banter. The foreseeable nature of the story is saved and even enhanced by the likability of the entire cast involved. As mentioned before, the film is sweetly predictable, if not entirely unremarkable, as it veers into the schmaltzy on repeated occasions. Mark Forster directs the film with a steady hand that feels like he's serving the material as best as possible. A Man Called Otto will undeniably cause a tug upon the heartstrings, with its universal themes of found family. But upon closer inspection, one can also view the piling high cliches that make the film frustratingly bland. A Man Called Otto doesn't swing for the fences. In fact, it knows its strengths and it gets the job done. After the first 15 minutes, you can be confident in how the story ends. Despite that, Otto makes you feel like it's the journey, both in life and in the film, that makes it all worth it. I'm giving A Man Called Otto a for you to decide. You can watch it only in theaters.
I have decided that I'm going to like it and I'm going to watch it because Tom Hanks is in it.
Right,
I'm a Tom Hanks fan.
I agree.
I was sold at Tom Hanks. He's such a talented actor.
Manning does not mince words here. Unremarkable, bland.
He said it gets the job done, but it's not flashy. And for me, I just like the topic. I like the idea of this older
Is that because
man.
you're a grumpy old man?
You know, sometimes, yes. But this guy has apparently lost his wife, so he's going through like a rough time, but then a family warms him back up.
I feel like it will pull on the heartstrings. You see those movies where you have the grumpy old man or someone who's very distant, and it takes a child or it takes somebody to be nice to them to peel back those layers, and we're probably going to learn more about his past as to why he is the way that he is.
I feel like that old movie, Grumpy Old Men,
Yes,
did that. It's
so
done.
funny.
You can't beat that.
Well, even the next door neighbor, the Home Alone, remember how he kind of got into his world and figured out that he wasn't such a scary old man?
I think it will make for a good family movie, or just even one of those movies on a Sunday after church. You're laying down on the couch and need something to watch. This seems like this would be a good movie.
It's one of those movies you can fall asleep to if you need to.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Negative.
It just seems like a good, some stuff doesn't have to be over the top. It could just be good.
You like to poke, man. You like to just poke just
Not
enough
me,
to
never, no. I got it from you.
Yeah. He inherited it. All right, we're coming right back. Stay there. We look at temperatures across the area. A little cool, but not cold yet. Wait till tonight, though. You'll change your mind. We're down to the upper 20s for overnight lows tonight. Starting out at 48 in Greensboro and in Winston-Salem, 49 High Point in Lexington. Asheboro's bumped up to 50 degrees along with Burlington there, and it's 47 in Reedsville. Tonight, 27 degrees, clear and cold, the overnight low. Winds aren't too bad. They're out of the west 5 to 10. And then tomorrow, 46 degrees and lots of sunshine. We're fairly clear across the area. I'm looking around right now with just a couple of puffy clouds here or there. That's about it. Could see some of that tonight, but mostly clear, I think, is really the bottom line. And tomorrow. And high pressure in control of our outlook for a couple of days. It looks pretty good as we go through Friday and Saturday. Now, Sunday, things will start to change a little bit as the high gives way to another frontal boundary that'll push into our area, and we see that chance of rain that we talked about. In fact, if you look at this, our high resolution futurecast, and we'll stop it right here. I mean, this is Sunday afternoon, early evening, maybe 4 to 5-ish, somewhere around there, and you can see all that rain getting ready to move in through the area. So that could be a soaker for the end of our weekend. To recap short term, though, we're 27 for the low tonight, clear and cold conditions. Winds aren't a problem, thank goodness. That would feel horrible if the winds were to pick up. 46 tomorrow, lots of sunshine, cool, and your 7-day outlook takes us to 54 on Saturday, obviously the best day of the weekend. Sunday, okay in the first half of the day, but second half, those showers move in. 50% chance of rain and a slightly cooler high of 51. Now on the backside of that front, and we keep that slight 20% chance in for Monday, but that's a 57-degree high temperature. That's really comfortable, and 7 degrees above normal for Monday. Tuesday, partly cloudy, 54. Then we've got a rain chance Wednesday, Thursday, with highs 53 Wednesday, cooler Thursday in the mid-40s.
Here at home, the easiest way to know what the weather will be is by using the News 2 app. You can customize alerts for your part of town so you aren't caught out in the rain without an umbrella.
Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to your 4 to 5 here in Shelby Hills and Bristol. Lauren Coleman.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching us on WFMY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFMY News 2 app. How are you guys feeling on this Friday Eve?
Pretty good. Only one more to go.
Only one more
How
to
about
go.
tomorrow when the golf tournament cancels all the other shows except us?
I know. So you guys are just going to be with the fun crew.
That's right.
Listen, you get to watch us and then golf. It sounds like a great day for a lot of
Perfect
people.
combo. Yep.
Absolutely. Well, let's hop into some news. We're going to get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Today, the Carolina Panthers made a huge announcement. The team said they agreed to terms with Frank Reich to become the new head coach. He will take over for interim coach Steve Wilkes. Wilkes was promoted earlier this year when the team fired former head coach Matt Rule. Rule moved on to take the head coach position for Nebraska. Smoke is still hanging in the air in Eden after a massive fire at a historic building. Spray cotton mills went up into flames around 10:45 last night. 23 fire departments worked to get the blaze under control. We do have a crew on scene and we'll bring you the latest on WFMY News 2 at 5. Boom Supersonic began construction on their Overture Super Factory in Greensboro. They aim to make the world's fastest plane. Boom Supersonic is expected to bring at least an estimated $32 billion to the state's economy over the next 20 years.
The Guilford County Board of Education will meet tonight to discuss a vacant seat. The District 3 seat is open after Pat Tillman left to become a county commissioner. The Guilford County Republican Party nominated Michael Logan to replace him. The majority of the school board has voted against Logan twice now. Tillman is calling on the board to give Logan the seat. That school board meeting starts at 6 o'clock tonight. We'll let you know what happens. The only professional bull riding team in the Carolinas announced they are relocating to Greensboro. The PBR team series, the Carolina Cowboys, will debut their new home on September 22nd. They'll move to the Greensboro Coliseum for their Cowboy Days event. The team doesn't have to travel that far, coming from their previous home in Winston-Salem. Owner Richard Childress says they are thrilled to keep the team in the Triad and excited about the area's exposure to professional bull riding.
Thought we start out and look at some regional temperatures here, and closer to home, we're in the upper 40s at 48. If you head coast side, Wilmington at 56. Looks like Elizabeth City right in the lower 50s as well. Even back into our mountain communities, Boone's in the lower 30s, but you have to go back toward Tennessee and parts of Kentucky and West Virginia to see mostly right around the freezing mark temperatures. Now, some of that cold air is heading our way. So today we went from the upper 40s and low 50s. Tomorrow we think upper 40s for sure, and then highs possible by the time we get to Sunday, we may see some lower 40s for highs. It looks like some rain is on the way by then, but in the interim, today, Friday, Saturday, good weather. In fact, Saturday, obviously the best day of the weekend because we do not expect anything in the way of rain on Saturday. That's not until Sunday afternoon, actually. So Sunday morning we might be in good shape, although you'll see a lot of extra cloud cover by then. Not right now. We're in pretty good shape with clouds now. Again, high pressure in control for us as that moves along to our south. And just the way the winds are stacking up, most of our winds are going to be out of the west. That'll be tonight. It will be cold tonight, though. We do expect overnight lows around 27 before we bounce back to those 40s for tomorrow. Still kind of chilly. The normal high this time of the year is right around 50 degrees, so we're starting to see those temperatures in that neck of the woods in our 7-day outlook. Here's what it looks like on Sunday, and I kind of just sped it up for you just so you can see. This is Sunday at about 4:30. We're starting to get the rain in the mountain communities, and then we think it'll really start to overspread the Piedmont as we go into Sunday evening for sure. Until then, sunshine on your Friday, 46, a partly cloudy 54 on Saturday, a rainy 51 on Sunday, at least second half of the day. Now, Monday, Tuesday, we put a 20% chance in there, but it's nice with temperatures 57 and 54. Wednesday, Thursday of next week, a decent rain chance, 40% chance, 53 Wednesday, and cooler at 45 by Thursday.
During COVID, kids were spending more time in front of computers because of remote learning. Now, even in their free time, numbers still seem to be high in the number of hours per day children are in front of iPads, TVs, and phones. So, how do we fix this?
Getting away from the screen and into the outdoors really has a big impact on your kids. Let's connect the dots. The Kaiser Family Foundation says kids ages 8 to 18 spend on average more than 7 hours a day in front of a screen, just for entertainment purposes. The number's even higher when you add in educational time. New research from Japan shows more screen time at age 2 can lead to poor communication and living skills by age 4. But those scientists also found a way to reduce some of those effects by just heading outdoors. They say playing outside can reduce those harmful effects by 20%. In fact, socialization skills will actually be higher among kids who spent time outdoors than their peers inside. And staying active helps too. The CDC recommends kids get at least an hour of physical activity every day to reduce health risks later in life. And that is Connecting the Dots.
7.5 hours.
I just checked on my phone. My daily average of screen time is 3 hours and 54 minutes. And that's my phone. That doesn't include the computer screen, TV, reading these things, all the scripts we go through.
I'm just shocked at kids that the average is 7.5.
That's a long time, and I wonder if a lot of that, even outside of school, because you're not going to be in front of a computer all day. I wonder if there's just a lot of kids that are not physically active, doing sports teams, taking clarinet lessons, doing things outside of the house. I feel like growing up, we were always outside riding bikes, and now a lot of kids are inside playing the video games and on their phones.
I'm telling you, if we didn't force our kids to get out, they would stay on screens as long as we'd let them, because there are times that we have time limits during the weekdays, and then on the weekends it's different. But even on the weekends, we'll say, enough, now you have to go outside. Don't care what you do, you just have to go outside.
And our parents encouraged us to get involved. Like I wouldn't say made us, but just encouraged us to sing in the gospel choir at church, to take piano lessons, to play soccer and dance, that we were always doing different things. I mean, we still had the video games and all that too, but it was a healthy balance. And I feel like now, maybe I'm not going to say some parents, maybe kids just aren't as interested in doing stuff out of the house, so the parents might need to kind of like push them out to do it.
I feel like growing up, we didn't have a YouTube rabbit hole to fall down, right? So we were forced to think of creative things to do, and it sparked a lot of our imagination and creativity today. I'm curious to see when this generation grows up, what their creativity level will be.
Yeah, it's going to be different.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We push them. We have to push them to get them out. You got to do it.
All right, so I did ask you on my Facebook page, how do you manage your child's screen time? Stephanie Feaster says, as a teacher, I think if kids are using Quizlet or other online studying tools, it can be a great tool at night. Kevin Osley wrote 2 hours, 7 to 9. And then Bay McBee said only allow her to watch when supervised by an adult. Jacqueline Wallace, when they were homeschooled, no phones during the day, but allowed 1 hour in the evenings.
So you can set time limits on any gaming system. You can set time limits on iPads for kids, and it's all done through like for this, it'd be a Microsoft parental control kind of thing, where once it reaches that, it kind of gives them a warning, and then it's going to cut them off. And to really, that's the only, because the parents, you can't be on.
You're not going to be at, and
right.
I had a TV in my room growing up, so.
I did too, but mine do not.
So I used to actually watch mine to go to sleep, but I know when I would get in trouble, my parents would say, I better not hear that TV on, but they don't know if they're
captions as a kid when I was told not to do it.
Yeah, if they're asleep, they don't know. But I think you can set a timer on the television too, if I'm not wrong.
There are ways to do it. It's just parents have to take the initiative, and it's a little bit of work and a learning curve to learn how to do it, but you have to do it. So my kid has an Apple Watch. We have nighttime, and it turns off at a certain time, turns back on the next day.
I think also another way to look at it, because if you're telling a kid you can't do this or limit this, maybe setting time, okay, this is a time where you need to do something else. You need to read a book, you need to go outside, you need to try to, do something that makes you passionate and use those creative juices. But when you say, no, you can't use this from this time to this time, I think it kind of changes the mindset. If that makes sense, because you're telling them they can't do something.
Yeah, that's when they get to like that 12. That's when you start seeing the pushback, and when they're little, they're like, okay, that or whatever. But when they reach that tween and teenage years, it gets a little tougher. But you still have to. You gotta have limits, man.
Yeah.
I have a friend who literally unplugs the Wi-Fi every night.
Really?
Not a bad idea.
Yeah. Ooh.
Are we going to break?
No, we have a programming note.
I'm sorry.
Before we go to break, we want to tell you about something happening tomorrow. You can join us for the 4 to 5, but only us. We will air the Farmers Insurance Open tournament from 5 to 8 p.m. There will be no WFMY 5, 5:30, or 6 p.m. news. Both Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy will air overnight. Wheel of Fortune will be at 1:37, Jeopardy at 2:07 a.m.
Hello, that was a funny little song there. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination. Okay, so you're listening to David Crowder and Maverick City Music. The song, God Really Loves Us, is up for a Grammy for the Best Contemporary Christian Song. And of course, the Grammys are right here on WFMY, and they're here Sunday, February the 5th. But you can see a Grammy-nominated artist this weekend at the Greensboro Coliseum.
There's always something cool going on in this city and in the Triad.
I mean, I love that you can actually do that, right? Because you just see all the, artists that get Grammys or are nominated for Grammys, and you're like, yeah, I've never seen them in person, right?
And then you got one coming in your back door.
And then you got one coming in. All right, so
No
this
excuses.
is his 4th Grammy nom. His song he's nominated showcases part of his sound, because I got to tell you, most of the songs that I like from David Crowder are more hip hop or bluegrass or rock or whatever. So I want you to check this out.
He got one, baby, I got 3.
David Crowder loves being on the road. This concert video is from New York.
If I could do anything, it would be drive semi trucks. I'd still be on the road, but hauling America's on my back. I think it's because when I was a kid, I saw Smokey and the Bandit. I'm like, that sounds like a lot of fun.
What didn't sound like fun to him was making a Christmas album. Here's the story of Milk and Cookies, which is a play off his latest album, Milk and Honey.
Every artist, you got to get to a Christmas album. It's just, it's literally in the contract. There's a lot of pressure on a Christmas album because they're the best songs ever, sung by the best people ever.
Crowder's solution? Half of the album is original songs, including the Elf song. He said in the end, the Christmas album was the most fun he's had. He goes from silly to serious all in one breath when he talks about what guides him.
You got to choose to do and be something different than what you are today, and that's what the whole journey is about when you dive into this whole Christianity thing.
Crowder is on the Hits Deep tour with Toby Mac as the headliner. The Greensboro Coliseum stop is Saturday night.
So I decided to ask everybody on Facebook about your first concert ever. What was it? And tell me all about it. Here's what you had to say. Billy Oliver said, the Monkees. Must have been good because I was told I stood in my seat screaming the whole time. I was 10 years old. Kay Murphy said Elvis at the Greensboro Coliseum many years ago. Was fantastic. Sat in the upper deck, far away from the stage, but still so much fun. Myra says Hootie and the Blowfish back in 1996-ish. She says it was at what used to be the Walnut Amphitheater in Raleigh. I remember that. Walnut Creek Amphitheater, I believe it was called. She said it was cold and raining, but I had lawn seats and did not care. Had an absolute blast. Ed Wellborn, wow, he saw Led Zeppelin in 1977 at the Greensboro Coliseum. He said it was awesome. And Candy said the Osmonds, 1972 in Greensboro Coliseum. Still love Donnie to this day. Cindy Renee said Shania Twain in Greensboro in 1999. The concert was great in Raleigh last year. Also, Luke Bryan was one that she went to go see. So my first big concert ever was Prince, and it was the Purple Rain tour. It was phenomenal. Greensboro Coliseum.
My first tour, I was in the 8th grade. It was one of the Scream tours, so Pretty Ricky, B5, Sierra, I believe, was there, Bobby Valentino. It was my first concert. I was in the 8th grade, and we were just like screaming. We were up in the nosebleeds, but
Did your mom take you?
She did.
Yeah.
She was one of the chaperones. It was for my friend's birthday, but we actually had binoculars because we were like in the nosebleeds.
Way up there.
Yeah.
So these all sounds like legends and a lot of fun, but I do have a question. What do you like about concerts? Because I go and I end up the whole time looking at the TV screen, the monitor of the person, instead of watching them. And it feels like I could do that at home.
I go back and forth, but I think you just like to be in the environment, in the vibe of the crowd. Because I've gone to other concerts where I might have been pretty far, but everyone's singing along to the music. You're kind of in your own zone, and it is cool to just be like you're in their presence, even if they're not in front of, even if they're not right in front of you.
That's me. I don't care if it's a giant coliseum. I can look down there and I'm in the same room as Elton John or whoever. I just think
and
that's
you're all
cool.
singing together.
Yeah,
You're singing with the person that you're like, this is amazeballs.
Yeah. I love concerts.
I do too. I love live music. And I'm the sap that if it's a really like a class, like Elton John, I think I teared up like 4 times in that concert.
Especially with him on the piano or something. It's just a different
Yeah.
feeling.
So it hits differently, huh?
Paul McCartney, same thing for me too. All right, we'll take a break. Coming back. Well, we look at these readings right now, and I can tell you, even in just the last hour of getting out here, now it's starting to feel a little bit cooler as that sun goes down, but fast. You expect that to happen, but not this fast. Even though the temperature hasn't really changed a whole lot, it's just feeling cooler once you get out of the direct sun. But at 48 degrees right now in Greensboro, 47 in High Point, 50 in Burlington. To the south, a little warmer, of course, as usual, 54 in Troy. But to the north, 46 in Mount Airy. And we're seeing some 30s into our mountain areas. You can see in the regional shot here, even we're going to Tennessee, West Virginia, and Kentucky. We're in the low to mid 30s for that area, and then we're in the upper 40s here. But that cold air will gradually filter in our way as well. Out to the wide shot here, not a whole lot to see. It's a big ridge of high pressure that keeps everything clear. And as that moves on to the east, it'll keep us nice and clear. In fact, I think, in my opinion, Saturday, probably the best day of the next 4. Definitely the best day of the weekend because we have some rain coming in Sunday afternoon and evening. That high pressure, though, again, keeps us clear. So Friday, look for mostly sunny skies. Even on Saturday, I think partly cloudy until Saturday night. When we see clouds build in ahead of the next system, that's when clouds start to build in for the rain. I fast forwarded this. I just wanted you to see this is Sunday afternoon. You can see that at anywhere in that, say, 2 to 5 p.m. time period, the rain starts in the northwest and it will overspread our area. A good 40 to 50% chance of showers happening. 27 for the low tonight. We'll see highs at 46 for tomorrow, but 54 Saturday. That is nice. A rainy 51 on Sunday, and then 57 and clearing for Monday.
NASA says an asteroid will have an uncomfortably close encounter with the Earth tonight, flying by just 2,000 miles above the planet's surface. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more on why the agency says this near miss, no real cause for concern.
The asteroid named 2023 BU is about the size of a moving truck, and it is moving rapidly near Earth at about 6 miles a second. It was discovered by an amateur astronomer just last Saturday. NASA is confident it will miss the planet, but come closer than almost any near-Earth object ever recorded.
We think things like this happen every year or so, but that's just an argument based on the numbers. We haven't actually seen one pass this close, so this shows that we are getting very good at finding these things.
NASA says the asteroid will pass near South America Thursday at 7:27 p.m. Eastern Time. At that point, it will be 2,200 miles above Earth's surface. That is 10 times closer than communication satellites and 100 times closer than the moon. There have, of course, been direct hits in the past. In 2013, this asteroid exploded over Russia, damaging thousands of buildings. Even if this asteroid made impact, NASA says it wouldn't pose a risk to people. A truck-sized asteroid would burn up in the atmosphere, but they are always watching the sky for bigger threats. Last year, NASA sent the DART spacecraft to crash land into an asteroid, capturing these images. But bigger picture, they tested whether humans can push a dangerous object off course to protect the planet.
It comes down to the amount of warning time we have, whether an actual threat could be handled by something like DART or some other technique.
NASA says there is no known threat to Earth for at least the next 100 years. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
That's a weight off. 100
It
years.
is.
Yeah,
We all were like, woo!
Don't have to worry about that one. They are always watching, though, and it's amazing to me how they can figure out the physics and the trajectory and what time and when it will be here and what they need to do. He said it's the ones that we miss, which that's possible if they were to miss it and they don't have enough warning time to get something up there to explode near it and veer it away or whatever it takes. But thank goodness they're watching. We've seen those movies.
Yeah,
Don't
I
wanna
love
see
those
that.
movies.
I do too.
Space is just so cool to me and
too.
so deadly if one thing goes wrong. So it's really good to know we don't have to worry about it for a while.
You know, when I look back, you talk about space being interesting. When we see that, the Apollo 13 and all that stuff, and how their computers, they said our cell phones are like 100 times stronger than the computers that took astronauts
And those
to the
computers
moon.
are like bigger than this.
Yeah, it's like a room.
Yeah.
It's amazing here. All right,
We'll be
we're
right
going to take
back.
a break.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check, mic check. I hope he's watching our
Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
Now, as far as the timeline goes, production should start in 2024. That's next year. After that, Boom anticipates assembly of aircrafts in 2025, and they plan on
All day, people have been coming out to see what's left of the spray cotton mills. Mic check, so I go.
Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
She did.
Great.
I'm wondering whether you have this type of anxiety I experience. I think about it all the time. It makes my heart beat faster when I consider it. It stresses me out to the point I consider avoiding it altogether. The feeling I get when I log into Netflix. The overwhelming feeling that I've got too many shows to watch and not nearly enough time to see them all. I get caught up and plow through 4 seasons of fill-in-the-blank show, only to hear a coworker mention another show I've got to see. There isn't enough time in the day for it all. My list of shows I've flagged to watch is getting longer, not shorter. Sometimes I wonder whether we watch these shows because we actually want the enjoyment, or we just want to have something relevant to talk about when our friends or coworkers talk about them. Or maybe it's to just clear that never-ending list of shows to watch. I can't imagine being married or having kids while also keeping up with the endless barrage of new shows. How do they do it? And that's just Netflix. There's also Hulu, HBO, Disney+, Paramount+, and all the other pluses. It's a problem I'm concerned will only get worse. I don't have a solution. At this point, I'm hoping misery loves company, and you're in this sinking ship with me. Whoever said watching TV is a thing of the past clearly doesn't subscribe to streaming services. That's just my 2 cents. And you're 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
We start with breaking news on the future of the Carolina Panthers. After weeks of interviews and meetings, the team has selected Frank Reich as the new head coach.
This decision came down to Reich and Panthers interim head coach Steve Wilks.